I am Nisha Charles.
And I am Desmond Joseph.
And we are your presenters for today. Thank you for joining us for SAT TV News. Among the major developments, local builder urges contractors to join the building association.
Chavez reported to be in stable condition.
Ivory Coast mourns after New Year's stampede in Abidjan.
And in sports, 2 matches for this weekend as the DFA Division 1 playoff action kicks in.
Details of these and other stories after the break.
Thank you for staying with us. Now for the details of the news. From what we get, we can make a living. What we give, however, makes a life. This quote was put into action on Monday 31st, 2012 as a breakfast was held for the underprivileged. Member of the Rosa Seventh-day Adventist Church, Mr. Vincent Dupuis said it was a day of compassion when members went out to various communities to give back.
We, as you notice, that we've been serving breakfast for the unfortunate ones out there and our short-ins. It's an annual project that we have twice a year. We usually do that sort of stuff within our church. And of course, the church members do finance the whole project that you see going on here today as it relates to the breakfast being served and also this clothes distribution and also dry goods.
Mr. Vincent added that sharing is part of their mission and this is what the Christmas holidays represent.
We've been doing that from inception, because the church has been founded it's quite a while now, and this has been going on for a very, very long time ago. So every year you could pass at this time of year, you get this. Mid-year, you get basically the same thing going on. Well, we catered for 75 unfortunate persons today, 75 plus our short-ins. So we're looking at about 120 persons today being fed.
He informed SAT TV of some of their plans for 2013. He says one of the things they will do different this year is to seek help from merchants, therefore they could assist more underprivileged individuals. Mr. Vincent says presently funds are being given by church members. Overall, he believes breakfast was a total success.
So we would really like that if much persons would go out and really contribute to the society, because we have to give. Giving is part of love, and love, if you have love, you also will give. And as a church, this is what we really do. We really give out. God said to love, God said to share, and basically this is what we do. And that persons will have more respect for you as an individual. And I think basically all in all, it's just love. We share because we love. We love because we share.
With the help of the People's Republic of China, the Dominica Police Force will receive 90 new police motorcycles to complement police patrols as well as to enhance the prospects of national security. This is much needed assistance that will benefit the department in undertaking its duties throughout the island. A brief signing ceremony was held at the Ministry of National Security between the People's Republic of China and the Dominican government last week to honor the agreement. Minister of National Security, Charles Savre, says the relationship between Dominica and China is continually strengthened, especially with this new agreement.
This agreement that we are to sign has to do with support for the security agencies of the state, and which, incidentally, I am coming from a meeting with the Prime Minister and what we refer to as the High Command of the police and the heads of units in the police force. So
he says that the total costs associated with the donations are uncertain. The minister indicated that given new developments in road networks, much discussion has taken place in relation to traffic control. Therefore, the motorcycles are expected to significantly assist the police force in conducting patrols.
This will assist us tremendously in patrolling the roads and communities of Dominica, as well as providing the protective gear that police require in their operations, including glasses, the shields, helmets, and things of that nature, so that it will, in fact, assist us in the whole question question of policing the country effectively.
Sanford emphasized that the country's commitment to China cannot be questioned.
We are very concerned about the way the roads are used. We are concerned about the complaints which we have where people say that sometimes the police say they don't have transportation when a report is made. And these motorcycles will be deployed to the various police stations so as to increase the mobility. As you know, a couple of years ago we took the step of providing a vehicle to each police station and each police unit. So this will complement the mobility of the police and enable them to provide a greater service to the people of Dominica.
The motorcycles will arrive sometime in 2013 and will be distributed to police stations throughout the island.
And in more news, charity is a vital part of every community as it brings harmony by bridging the gap between the fortunate in life and the less fortunate. The main objective of charities is to help the less fortunate in terms of getting proper medical care, improving living conditions, and even assisting in the proper education of those who cannot hardly manage to get it themselves. Godo residents Mr. Davis Lawrence and Ms. Dawn Seja are winners of a 32-inch TV donated by Courts Dominica and a 16-piece dinner set donated by Astafans.
Mr. Lawrence receiving the 32-inch TV from the Lions Club donated by Courts Dominica.
Here's a clip of Miss Asia receiving her gift.
And Miss Dawn Seja receiving her 16-piece dinner set donated by Astafans from the Lions Club of Dominica.
Mr. Lawrence expressed his heartfelt gratitude to the club and its members.
Well, I just want to say thank you for the offer. I wasn't really, expecting it, but it is a great offer, and I really appreciate it, and I'm thankful, and I wish everybody a happy New Year also.
This is what Miss Seja had to say after receiving a 16-piece dinner set.
I just want to share a short story. On my way to my home at night, I went to Lindomat just to pick up a few things, and I met this lady, and she was asking to donate to Lions Club. I know Lions Club is an organization which assists needy people. So I said, okay, $5, that's nothing to help people. So I just gave her the $5, then she said, put your name, your number, and it was a raffle. I was like, okay. I went home, spent the holidays with my dad, and my friend called me on Wednesday and she said, you want something at Courts? I said, no. You want something with Lions Club? I said, I don't know about Lions Club because I only donated because it was for the needy people. I donated, and then look at that. In donating, I got this 16-piece set, which I really liked. So thank you very much.
Most people do not take the time to donate to the charities, yet a small donation can make a very big difference in another person's life.
And in more news, Interim President of the Dominica Builders and Contractors Association, Mr. Kelvin Henderson, is urging all Dominican builders, contractors and draftsmen to join the Dominica Builders and Contractors Association. Mr. Henderson says this will be very beneficial to one of their objectives, which is the training and development of all persons involved in the construction industry, such as contractors, builders, masons, tilemen, plumbers, and laborers. He said that no one can do it alone, especially as they are trying to protect the integrity of construction in Dominica. Thus the reason he saw it fit for the association to join the Dominica Coalition of Services Industries, who is responsible for the affairs of the association.
Well, the association was formed in 2005. Well, 2003 was the initiative where Mr. Mackenzie had a workshop, and out of this workshop the association was formed. I came into the association in 2005, and 2005, well, the main objectives were still there. But I think at that time the focus was more or less job creation. But presently, after sitting down and looking at the association is not something that can promise jobs to anybody. What it can do and what it is there to do is to enhance, which is to the members, to develop them in training, give them the technical capacity, give them the support that they need. And so too, while they get this support, then they are more able and more capable to find the jobs that they want to do.
The interim president stated that the association is very important as it serves as a voice on behalf of all persons involved in construction who are members. He said builders should take note that when foreigners want to build in Dominica, they ask for an association and not a specific builder, which is why it is important that all involved in the construction industry join the Dominica Builders and Contractors Association. Other professionals also benefit being in the association, such as when the home is constructed, the foreigners will need tilemen, plumbers, and laborers to complete the house.
So too, if contractors have issues, then the issues of the contractors can be addressed. And the most important fact, if for representation on the fact of government doesn't speak to individuals. A government needs a body of people that know what they're about and knowledgeable of what they are speaking about. So too, government will listen to an association, but not individuals.
One of the proposals they plan on bringing forth to the government is the need for a tertiary institution where people can learn about construction. Students attend school to learn accounts, physics, chemistry, and agriculture, and he says this should be the same for construction. He added that it needs to be implemented in the school's curriculum. He pointed out that one of the main focuses of the Builders Association, once they have sufficient membership, is to continue their push for training.
Well, the association is for everybody. Everybody who deals with the construction sector. Whether you're a mason, whether you're a tileman, whether you're a painter, there's a place for you in the construction association. We focus mainly on contractors and builders for one reason. Because a builder is somebody that's overall supervised and know and have the responsibility to do the work. The contractor is the business person, which must be able and have the capability to understand contracts, do quantities, and at least just the fair idea of what construction is all about.
He says people who have been practicing their skill without the proper theoretical knowledge needs to know why it is they do what they do. Mr. Henderson pointed out that people cannot be involved in such a trade where they work based on doing what they have seen or see contractors do.
So now what we are doing is an avenue that even every player in the industry can carefully understand the reason why they are doing what they are doing, the reason why the engineers or the architects want it a certain way, and then they can hold a dialogue with people who know about the industry, and then they can learn more. But certification is practical, so it's not so much about the theoretical part of it. The tradesmen will be graded on their practical ability to do their work. For instance, a mason will be graded on his ability to put the blocks, to understand why he's doing it, and the efficiency in doing what he's doing. Same as the carpenter. The only person that may need more of a theoretical background is when we reach to the builders, the contractors, and the construction supervisors.
He added that someone who has both theoretical and practical knowledge of what they do will work more cost-effective and efficiently than that of someone who is just practically able.
And in more news, Trinidadian national, now turned Dominican, Mr. Dave Ali, who is a well-known airbrush artist, says his dream is to open his very own airbrushing studio in Dominica. With this dream being fulfilled, Mr. Ali stated it will provide an avenue for aspiring airbrush artists to learn the skill, while others will be afforded an opportunity to sharpen their skill. The professional airbrush artist says he started in 1974 when he was introduced to it by a gentleman who is now deceased who airbrushed signs and billboards for a big company. One of the local airbrush artists he taught was Mr. Gerard Gist, who he has mentored since 2005 and wants more interested people to learn the skill.
Every time I see one of my students, actually in Trinidad and Tobago, I had a art school registered under the education, Ministry of Education, right? I had an art school under the Ministry of Education. I taught CXC, well, not CXC we had at the time, we had GC. It was an old British exam, and it faded out into the CXC. And I even opened my own school, which was under the Ministry of Education, and after that I had maybe a couple thousand students, and they would pay to do the course, and then they would go out. I had students coming from Canada in summer. I had students from England also. I had US students, and students from the Caribbean would come down and they would do the course.
He says it makes him very happy when he travels the Caribbean and sees work similar to his, which were created by many students he taught. Growing up, while his friends wanted to be doctors, lawyers, and policemen, he always wanted to be a well-known international artist. The airbrush artist highlighted that he is proud of the fact he accomplished exactly what he envisioned as a young boy, as he is now a 47-year veteran airbrush artist. However, he pointed out he is talented in other areas.
I taught myself over the years by glass etching, right? There's glass etching, sandblasting, and I'm into kitchen counters. This product here, it's fiberglass cement, it's showcrete, and it's applied. It's the only cement in the world that doesn't need any steel because it's fiberglass. It's eco-friendly also. It has a water-based stain that's applied, and that's my backup plan. Understand? Creating kitchen counters, artistic bathrooms, vanities, and floors.
Mr. Ali says he has airbrushed a number of vehicles and other surfaces and is currently working on the beautification of the Rosa cruise ship berth.
Mr. Batwell, which is the port manager, normally I would do the carnival floats for them, and he had just run an idea by me a couple of weeks back, and I told him yes, it can work, and actually it's working.
The project, which is not far from completion, will require at least another week or two to design the ground of the berth with large lovely flowers for the final product. When completed, Mr. Ali says the Rosa cruise ship berth will be a beautiful scene where tourists and locals can use the background for a special photo moments. He says it will also be a beautiful scene for visitors coming to the island. He describes the project as a labor of love, as he says he enjoys every project he works on and does all tasks with a passion like he's doing it for himself, who has a very high standard. He pointed out that he loves the country with a passion and would love to do any project which will continue to beautify it.
Airbrushing is a millennium art skill, and you can apply airbrush basically to anything. You can customize vehicles, you can airbrush cakes, you can airbrush t-shirts, you can airbrush wood, make signs. It's an unlimited field.
Mr. Ali says he gets his inspiration from God.
I will show you something in a little while.
In an effort to recognize mothers, 6 ladies were launched as part of the Mother's Queen Show 2013 to be held in February 2013. Events coordinator of the Dominica Festivals Committee, the DFC, Mrs. Natalie Clark-Mead, is grateful for the pageant and says that mothers should be appreciated for bringing others into the world and not just stand on the sidelines. She advised the contestants to guard themselves now that they are part of the show. This will make them good role models for their children and their peers.
Whatever you do, people will constantly be looking to see how you do it, why you do it, where you do it. Once you enter a pageant, you're very much in the limelight, and therefore you have to understand the seriousness of the role that you have taken up. Whether you win or not is actually beside the point. Once you enter the pageant world, you are in the domain of the public, and therefore it is very important for you to understand that.
Mrs. Mead called on the corporate entities to not shy away from sponsoring the show because it is part of what makes us Dominican. She understands that the world is seeing an economic crisis, but she urges them to see past that and emerge and embrace the culture that we have in Dominica.
If you pull away from the very culture that makes us who we are and makes us important, there soon will be no culture, because we are not helping to support it, we're not helping to grow it in a positive cash flow way. All things are worth cash, not always in kind. In kind is a great thing.
The contestants for the Mother's Queen show are Miss Vernice Joseph, Miss Sharoni Moranci, Miss Sandra Adams, Miss Kayishma Victor, Miss Josephine Dublin, and Miss Carol Barron. Contestant Miss Kayishma Victor gave a word from her sponsor.
I represent the #1 pharmacy in Dominica, that's Jolly's Pharmacy, leading the way into healthcare. I would like to invite you, family, friends, and loved ones to come see us at the Arawak House of Culture on February 2nd. We will give you a show to remember, I promise you. Thank you.
The show will take place at the Arawak House of Culture on the 2nd of February 2013. This has been the local segment of the news. Coming up next, regional highlights.
Strapped for cash after the holidays? No cash? No worries. With the easy, affordable, and flexible Quartz Ready Finance, you can have what you need now. And with special deals for the month of January, there's no better time to shop. Quartz, bringing value home.